Hello, this is the Grief Time channel. Today we're going to tell you which celebrities have passed away. Videos are published every day, subscribe and press the bell.
Finnish composer based in Paris, France. During the course of her career, Saariaho received commissions from the Lincoln Center for the Kronos Quartet from Urkum for the Ensemble Intercontemporain, the BBC, the New York Philharmonic, the Salzburg Music Festival, the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris, and the Finnish National Opera, among others. In a 2019 composers poll by BBC Music magazine, Saariaho was ranked the greatest living composer. Saariaho studied composition in Helsinki, Freiburg, and Paris, where she also lived since 1982. Her research at the Institute for Research and Coordination in Acoustics American songwriter who wrote many songs together with her husband Barry Mann. And Mann were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010. In 1987, she was inducted with her husband into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and in 2011, they jointly received the Johnny Mercer Award, the highest honor bestowed by that Hall of Fame. Weil and her husband, both based at the Brill Building, were instrumental in shaping the sound of rock and roll in the 1960s, alongside other luminaries such as Carole King, Burt Bacharach, and Neil Diamond. Weil was born in New York City on October 18, 1940. She grew up on the Upper West Side and the Upper East Side of Manhattan in a conservative Jewish family. American pop singer and actor. He was known for playing Mingo in the television series Daniel Boone and for his easy-listening #1 hits of the mid to late 1960s, including My Cup Runneth Over Time and When the Snow Is on the Roses. He was also part of the popular 1950s singing group with his siblings, the Ames Brothers. Ames was born in Malden, Massachusetts on July 9, 1927, to Jewish parents Sarah Safskaya and David Urich, a.k.a. Urich, who had emigrated from Ukraine. He was the youngest of 9 children, 5 boys and 4 girls. Ames grew up in a poor household. He attended the Boston Latin School and was educated in classical and opera music, as well as literature. English performance poet, lyricist, and singer best known for his collaborations with Cream and Jack Bruce. Brown formed the bands Pete Brown, His Battered Ornaments, and Pete Brown Pibluchto, and worked with Graham Bond and Phil Ryan. Brown also wrote film scripts and formed a film production company. Brown was born in Ashted, Surrey, England. Before his involvement with music, he was a poet, having his first poem published in the U.S. magazine Evergreen Review when he was 14 years old. Brown became part of the poetry scene in Liverpool during the 1960s, and in 1964 was the first poet to perform at Morden Tower in Newcastle. English musician, best known as the bassist of the 1980s indie rock band The Smiths. Regarded as one of the greatest bassists of his generation, he is known for his melodic and funk-inspired approach to bass playing. Rourke joined The Smiths after their first gig, having known guitarist Johnny Marr since secondary school and played on their entire discography. After the group broke up in 1987, he performed on some of lead vocalist Morrissey's early solo releases. Rourke recorded with Sinead O'Connor and the Pretenders in the early 1990s and was a member of the supergroup Freebase and the band D.A.R.K. He organized the Versus Cancer concerts from 2006 to 2009. Brazilian rock singer, composer, and writer. She was a member of the Brazilian band Os Mutantes and a popular figure in Brazilian entertainment. She was also known for being an animal rights activist and a vegan. She sold more than 55 million records worldwide. Her autobiography, Rita Lee, Uma Autobiografia, was the best-selling non-fiction book of 2017 in Brazil. Rita Lee was born in Vila Mariana, district of São Paulo, Brazil, to an American-Brazilian father, Charles Fenley Jones, a dentist descended from the Confederates, and Romilda Padula, a Brazilian mother of Italian ancestry and a pianist. Christian Hitmacher, known for producing hit songs for numerous popular artists, is mourning the loss of his friend and colleague Young Lo. The 37-year-old rapper and producer was tragically shot and killed at a nightclub in Miami Beach, leaving behind a legacy of collaborations with major names in the music industry. The circumstances surrounding his death have yet to be fully disclosed, but his passing has shed light on the importance of addressing issues related to gun violence and the impact it has on individuals and their families. Despite his untimely death, Young Lo's contributions to the music world will not be forgotten. English singer, songwriter, and musician. She is best known for the singles Rock-a-Doodle-Doo, 1973, and her version of Betty Everett's The Shoop Shoop Song, 1975. Her discography includes solo albums Lark Zero Lark 1972, Not a Little Girl Anymore 1975, Woman Overboard and Enor Norn Overboard 1977, and the later Second Nature 95, which became successful in countries such as Japan. Lewis also provided backing vocals for other artists, including David Bowie, Al Cooper, Cat Stevens, Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel, Rick Wakeman, Rod Stewart, Peter Bardens, Hummingbird, Joan Armatrading, and Jamiroquai. American musician, record producer and engineer, best known as the recording partner of indie rock musician Kurt Vile and as a multi-instrumentalist in his backing band The Violators. Laxo also played in the shoegaze band Swirlies, among others. Born in Massachusetts in 1979, Laxo graduated from Emerson College. After contributing to Vile's second and fourth studio albums, God Is Saying This to You, 2009, and Smoke Ring for My Halo 10 Elev, Laxo became a full member of the Violators in 2011 after the departure of guitarist Adam Granduciel. After joining the band, Laxo contributed heavily to Vile's subsequent studio albums, Walk In on a Pretty Days 2013, Believe I'm Going Down. American opera singer, considered one of the leading mezzo-sopranos of her generation, who also ventured to soprano roles. She belonged to a pioneering generation of African-American classical singers led by Marian Anderson. She was recognized internationally when Wieland Wagner cast her for the 1961 Bayreuth Festival as Venus in Tannhauser, the first black singer to appear at the festival. Bunbury's voice was rich and dynamic, possessing a wide range, and was capable of producing a very distinctive plangent tone. In her prime, she also possessed good agility and bel canto technique, as for example her rendition of Eboli in Verdi's Don Carlo in the 1970s and 1980s.